posted avocado ranch the other day and that I was using them on taquitos, and we had so many people ask for the recipe. We are doing that today. So if you're looking for the avocado ranch dressing or how I keep avocados fresh for over a month, make sure that you hit subscribe to the channel, and we'll also link those in the description. If you're just meeting me, my name is Amy Cross, and I am normally teaching you how to save money on groceries by reducing your produce waste and making easy meals so you don't have to go to the grocery store very often. Today we're going to be making these using the Keystone shelf-stable meat that is in a can, and it stays shelf-stable for over 5 years. But it's also a really good idea if you have things like this in your house for food security, that you are making meals with it so your family gets used to eating things that might be a little bit different than what they're used to. But I love that even on a busy night, I'm able to pull this off of the shelf and make dinner within a few minutes if I haven't thought about defrosting meat or making something already for dinner, because we used to have quesadillas all of the time when we needed a quick meal. This has more protein and nutrients in it than just plain quesadillas, and it is super quick and easy. I am a big proponent of using things that you already have on hand. So I happen to have some corn tortillas and also some flour tortillas. These flour ones were in the freezer, and these corn ones were actually purchased about 6 months ago. They will last a really long time in your pantry. So there's both of these, you can use either one. And then I have some cream cheese here that was in the freezer also. It is a little bit crumbly, but we're going to use it kind of as the glue to hold the tortilla together. So you can put some in the meat mixture if you want to. I normally add shredded cheese instead, but it does help to hold the tortilla together. And I do have some toothpicks if you want to use a toothpick to hold the tortilla, especially corn tortillas together. But make sure when you're putting it in the oven or the air fryer that you remove that little plastic bit on the end, the little decoration part, because that will melt in your food. So just pull that off before you bake it. And then today I actually have some taco seasoning that's all mixed up, but if you want to use your own taco seasoning, all it is paprika, cumin, chili powder, all mixed up, and you can add some oregano if you want to and make whatever taco seasoning you want for your family. I'm going to add a little bit of this to the beans, and it'll just help give them a little bit more seasoning. And then I actually have 3 different types of salsa right now at our house. I have this zesty salsa that's kind of spicy that I had canned, and so there's this that I can choose from. If I'm using this, then I wouldn't be adding as much of the seasoning if I'm going to just use the salsa. I also have this mango salsa that is Mike's favorite. We do have the recipe for this. If I use this salsa, I thought it would pair really nicely with the pulled pork. This is fermented salsa, so it has all those same benefits of eating sauerkraut, but it's salsa, which is amazing. And this has been in our refrigerator for a few months now, and it is still totally fresh, and it's getting those probiotics in your ferment here. So if you're looking for this recipe, make sure that you check out our blog. We will have that linked in the description. So whatever salsa you use, it can be store-bought. Those are just the 3 that I have here on hand. And then I have some black beans to this, so it ends up being a pretty complete meal with having the beans. There's some veggies in it, cheese, like all of the things that I can feel good about giving this to my family, and it's a nice snack or a meal. I have some shredded cheese here that I just shredded off the block, and I like to buy block cheese and not the shredded cheese that has the extra additives in it. And if I'm storing this in a glass jar with a metal lid, it'll actually last like double the time in the refrigerator than the pre-shredded cheese. And then I have this misto sprayer. This thing has saved me so much money over the years because I just put the oil that I need in it. So this has avocado oil in it right now. And then you just pump it and spray it before you put it in the air fryer or in the oven. But instead of buying those aerosol cans all of the time that are getting spendy, I can just buy the oil that I normally use and put it in this misto sprayer. So the Amazon link for that is in the description. I'm not adding any extra produce to this today, but I totally could. But my salsa is home canned and there's a ton of vegetables in it. But if you were making this and wanted to sneak in some extra vegetables, you can add some peppers or some onions. These are actually a few weeks old. I haven't went to the grocery store in a while. And as I go to cut up the pepper, I normally store that in a glass container if I'm not using the whole thing. So that way it's really easy just to add to recipes too. too. And whenever I cut an onion, I always make sure to cut the whole thing up and then put it in a glass jar in the refrigerator with a metal lid. It's really important that that one's a metal lid because it doesn't make your entire refrigerator smell like onions. If you're looking for more tips on how to save your produce so it doesn't go bad, I have a zero waste produce guide that has over 75 produce items A to Z and how to keep them fresh longer. Today I am using the canned meat for this. A lot of times I'll also make salsa chicken in the Instapot, and that really is just a pint or a jar of salsa and 2 to 4 chicken breasts in there. You put a little bit of stock down in the bottom or water and just let that cook for 20 minutes. And you can even cook that from frozen if you have an Instapot. So you can just mix that all up and add beans and extra seasoning if you want to, but it's super easy. And that salsa chicken, you just add cheese to it and then you're gonna roll it up in these tortillas. So however you make the salsa chicken, either with the Instapot or with canned chicken, they just simply get put into the tortilla and rolled up. The meaning of a taquito is actually a rolled taco. So just think of it as a taco and you can put anything that you want in it, and then we are going to pop it in the oven. So taquitos are a great thing to have for lunch and snacks and dinners, but I love whenever I'm making them to make a few extra, and you can freeze them so you can pull them out again later and they can go in the air fryer or they can go back in the oven, however you want to warm them up. But it's a great way to use up the last of the ingredients that you have and make some extra just when you go to put them in the freezer. It's called flash freezing when you put it on a tray or a plate and you make sure that they don't touch each other for that first couple hours that they're in the freezer, and then you can put them in a bag and keep them in the freezer for 3 to 6 months. As I'm rolling these up, I thought I would give you an extra little tip. I wear contacts, so it kind of reminds me of the same thing, but they'll show on the edges, they'll kind of roll up on their own a little bit. That's the way that you want to roll them. So make sure that they're not flipped over the wrong way or they'll end up cracking. And to help them not crack as quickly, if you put them in the microwave with a clean wet towel on top of it for about 20 seconds, it will steam them a little bit and then they won't crack. I normally do that in batches of 4 to 6 corn tortillas at a time, and that way they stay warm the entire time I'm trying to roll these up. And then I'm just using the toothpick to close them up and make sure that they stay closed, and I'll transfer it to the baking sheet. And I'm just putting these in the oven because I'm going to be making a large batch of them. I actually rolled up 3 burritos while these were cooking in the oven and just cooked them really quickly in a pan, and we ate them for lunch while these are cooking. So we have 2 different kinds here that we can show you the B-roll of the corn tortillas, or me rolling them up like a burrito and just frying them up really quickly in a pan. And I just drizzled a little bit of oil in the pan, so it didn't need to be like an inch of oil and deep fried, but they ended up being really great and we were able to eat lunch really quickly and then show you now that these are cooled off. These are the taquitos that we'll be saving for later. I'll probably just put some of these in the refrigerator, and if I was going to put them in the freezer, I would spread them out on a tray first and then freeze them and then put them back in this container or in a bag. But either way, it's really easy to make taquitos, and they're simple ingredients that you can keep at your house all of the time and be able to whip up a quick dinner.